Tetsuo!
Kaneda!
Tetsuo!
Tetsuo! Oh shit, Kaneda! Whoever we're talking about.
Tetsuo! No.
Canada!
Canton. Oh, Canada. Welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. It is part 3 for Anime for Andes. For those of you who have not checked out episodes 1 and 2 of Anime for Andes,
That's him.
That's me.
that guy right there. They're excellent episodes. That is us trying to expose our elderly friend Andy to the world of Japanese animation.
Our elderly friend.
Who he has fought us tooth and nail for a long time to check out some things that might actually interest him. But old dogs don't learn new tricks. Well, here we are again with a stick and a carrot, and we're going to try to get Andy to hopefully maybe try something new. It's not going to happen.
Are you a horse?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, welcome back to the Hateful Geeks. This week, I am, like every week, I am one of your many hosts, Phil.
Mrs. Sweeney.
And I'm Andy.
And then Tim's not feeling so good this week. So Tim had to go home and take a nap, and rub some powder on his balls,
He
and
did
show
have a
his
root
penis
canal.
to his dog.
Yeah, he kind of had the root canal done, so I can understand.
He had a root canal done or something.
Something to do with his mouth. I don't know.
A lot of oral.
Woo. So, Andy-san, you were tasked with checking out some old school anime. We've been trying to get you into some modern stuff the last couple episodes, but I feel like we've been doing it wrong. So I've tasked you with checking out some milestones, like some anime that are like from the late 80s, early 90s, stuff that kind of really got the ball rolling in America for a lot of fans. We're talking about 3 big properties. We're talking about Akira. We're talking about Ninja Scroll. And we're talking about Record of Lodoss War. We've got some sci-fi, we've got some ninjas, and we've got some like high fantasy, very Tolkien style. So I gave you a little plethora of things to taste test here and there, and
I get it. High fantasy.
Tolkien. Woo! So, first question: did you watch any of them?
I watched all of Akira.
Whoa.
I got a couple episodes into Record of Lodoss War, and I did not make it to Ninja Scroll.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Sweeney, did you watch Ninja Scroll?
I did not watch Ninja Scroll.
Are you serious?
I
Like
did
you guys?
not.
So I have to basically explain the entire plot of Ninja
You will
Scroll
explain
to
it to me, and I will
And he
react
will-
to your explanation.
Trust
you
me.
know you have to watch it for Anime for Andy's episode 4, correct? And then you have to give us your book report.
Well, this is my theory here. Your explanation will be further along than he will ever get into it.
Yes.
You're not wrong. We'll see if we might talk about Ninja Scroll. We'll talk about the ones you actually saw. So let's start with the big one. I'm glad you watched this one because this is like the big this is sort of like the Citizen Kane of anime, if you will. Like people have been talking about this movie and manga for 30 years. It's one of the biggest fucking things that ever
Everybody
came
knows
out
it.
of Japan. It has influenced tons of modern sci-fi and shit like that. It's also influenced by a lot of old school sci-fi. So Akira, Andy, I'd like you to, I know the plot of Akira because I've watched it like 400 times. I'd like you to tell me the plot of Akira.
On my one watching, here's what I got from my, I think, understanding.
Oh, God. If you actually understand Akira after one watching, you are ahead of the curve on like 98% of anime fans. I don't mean to be rude. You don't understand.
I don't understand it. I can tell you right now, I have no fucking clue what I just watched. So, futuristic Tokyo, now called Neo Tokyo.
Which is
Got that
next year,
much.
by the way.
Yeah, next year, 2019.
Yeah, now technically Akira takes place in the past now. But go on.
So, I gathered Tokyo was nuked again, maybe by themselves. I don't know.
Go on.
Something happened.
Keep going.
So now in futuristic Tokyo, the government does experiments on people. There's some kind of like council. It's run by douchebags. I don't know who
All
they
governments
were.
are run by douchebags. Continue.
There was some colonel with a Sergeant Slaughter haircut going on.
Not wrong.
And
just didn't have the aviators or the hat.
Right.
Continue.
And so there's like everyone's in like biker gangs now. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Our
There's,
main
like,
characters are members of biker gangs.
Biker gangs. So Japanese biker gangs, come on now.
It's a thing.
They're pretty badass. Think Road Rash, but in the future. Continue.
Tetsuo and Kaneda are kind of friends. They're
best friends. They're childhood friends.
Yeah, but they talk shit to each other the entire. Okay, so
what do you
they're
think we
friends.
do?
Right, like that's what best friends do.
That's kind of standard, like dumbass. Continue.
So they're on a chase against the clowns. There's an accident, and Tetsuo gets picked up by the government, and experiments are done on him. He gets super awesome mega telekinesis powers.
Sure. Yeah.
Some kind of powers that he just does
psychic
with
abilities.
his mind.
He gets ESP, psychic powers.
And then he just goes ultimate evil with them. And that's what I liked about it.
Of course it is.
Because let's be honest, if we had that kind of power and somebody pissed us off, done.
I'd be nice until I wasn't supposed to be. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a scene where he breaks out of the hospital / scientific building that he is in the second time, and he's in the hallway, and these guys come up, they're like, we gotta stop him, and he just pops them. Just pop.
He does like a force sphere and literally
he just goes like
blood
this.
dusts them.
He just goes like this,
Yes.
and they just...
So far, so good. How did you like the ending?
I have no fucking clue what happened at the end. So
Good.
So Akira itself, the scientists were doing some kind of experiments with trying to create these powerful beings, and from what I understood, this either just didn't go right or it went too right, so they took all of the DNA and put them in these little jars, and then somehow these little shriveled up baby old people smash the jars on the ground, and it just magically makes another naked baby Akira right there in front of them. And I'm
you
what?
sweet summer child! I swear to God. Okay, real talk. Were you sober while watching Akira
Yes!
the first time? No, you were not. Don't you
shit
dare
you
lie!
not.
Don't you lie to me, Andy.
I am dead serious. It was like 2 hours ago.
Wow. Yeah, I could see it in his eyes from here. He's sober, everybody. All right. Cool beans. So you got like 80% of that, maybe. So Tokyo does not nuke themselves.
No.
Tokyo, before the first war, Tokyo, or the scientists, were working on studying people who had psychic abilities. They were also performing like drugs and tests and experiments that would increase their powers. And Akira was one of their test subjects. And this little boy was so powerful that he was almost a god. And when he awakened to this power of pure energy, basically, through psychic telekinetic abilities, he caused that explosion at the very opening
So you
of the
remember
film.
like the opening scene with the explosion? And then remember like when they're in the stadium and the same explosion happens?
Yeah, the big white ball thing that just keeps it.
Little Akira
They're one and the same.
blew up Tokyo.
Okay.
And that caused World War III because nobody was willing to admit they were working on experiments, and they blamed it on America.
Yeah.
So World War III breaks out because of Akira, and the project is put on hiatus, they think, and Tokyo has to rebuild. And there's something to do with the Olympics or some shit, which is why that stadium's there.
Right.
But anyway, yes, kids are like juvenile delinquents, and our two main characters, Tetsuo and Kaneda, are childhood orphan friends who are in vocational school, and they are punk-ass motherfuckers who have like bikes, and they beat up people on the streets with chains and pipes.
Yep.
Very, very classy young men.
It's very 80s.
So yes, the little shriveled dudes you kept talking about.
Yeah, the little blue shriveled up baby.
They are
baby
white,
old
Andy.
people.
They're chalk white. But yes, those are kids from the earlier experimentation days. The medication they use to keep their powers in check keeps them in like a state of like Gary Coleman. You understand? So those kids are like 60 years old, but they're like stuck as children because of their powers and the medicine being given to them. So during their fight with the clowns as they're chasing through Neo Tokyo, and this really gorgeous anime. You have to admit, the animation of this movie was pretty excellent for its time, especially. This is a late '80s film. For what you were seeing, it was definitely ahead of the curve. Like the way Neo Tokyo is portrayed in this like glorified like neon paradise of I don't know. It's very It's not steampunk. It's very cyberpunk.
Yeah,
and it definitely had
Blade Runner a little bit with the, like the lighting and stuff like that.
It was like that. It was a little
huge
Coruscant
influences from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. And the little shriveled kid is being like kidnapped by a resistance group who is trying to expose the conspiracy of these psychic experiments being done on these kids, and that's why they're running through Tokyo. And then the dog, you shoot the dog, and
K.
K. That's a girl. We'll go into K later, but Takashi, the kid who's like, "Oh, you shot a dog? No, not a dog!" And then he blows up every window for like 6 city blocks with his psychic powers. I do want those powers.
When he yells and everything just shatters.
His exposure to Tetsuo when Tetsuo gets into his biking accident awakens the power inside of Tetsuo that was already there. And they explain that this power exists in all human beings, but not everybody ever awakens to it. So yes, Tetsuo, like they see that he has the pattern when the government shows up, and they take him in for more experiments. But he's way older than all the other subjects, so the power is like rapidly kicking in because of his like teenage hormones. So Tetsuo like gains psychic powers on a scale they've never seen before.
Yeah, you remember
except
like
in Akira.
You remember the little half globe thing that was like playing music, and he was like, "Look at this pattern. Now look at this pattern."
Oh yeah,
ding,
where it
ding,
was like
ding, 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 bong, ding, ding, ding.
It was showing that they were in sync from Akira to the new guy.
Yeah, so Tetsuo
I had
starts
no clue
like
what the scientist dude was looking at. It looked like a futuristic lava lamp that was just.
Think of it like a psychic reading, like an EKG meter in Ghostbusters. Like, how much psychic power is taking place right now? Oh, it's over 9,000, Tetsuo. So yes, you're right. Tetsuo like awakens to the power, and he just starts throwing a big temper tantrum. In the manga, it's a little bit more they go in depth because he escapes the facility. He doesn't have the medicine to keep his powers in check, so he just starts taking like fistfuls of drugs.
Right. Which
like
they kind of show
illegal pharmaceutical narcotics.
When he goes back to like that bar they went to, and he says, "Give me the capsule."
Give me the capsules.
And he started like,
and then he kills the bartender.
Yeah, he starts just chugging
takes all of his drugs.
Those are drugs, like hardcore drugs.
Yeah,
not like vitamins.
I mean, they don't
always
hide
had like
Kaneda has a pill on the back of his coat.
Right.
Obviously, they're punks, dude. They get high and they ride motorcycles and beat up people on the streets. It's what they do.
It's fine.
Do drugs, bang bitches, bro. Neo Tokyo for life.
Living the dream.
Andy. So Tetsuo obviously had like some deep-seated inferiority complex because he's living in Kaneda's shadow his whole life. So now that he's got like godlike psychic powers, he's decided that he's going to get even with anybody who ever made him feel small. Andy, this is what you would do if you had psychic powers.
Yeah, he kind of goes just off the deep end. There's no rhyme or reason for his killing. It's just because he can.
He keeps getting like visions of like Akira, and he has no idea what it means. So he's like trying to hunt down like who's Akira, what the hell happened. And that's why you saw like those DNA jars you were talking about. That was a scientific dissection of what was left of Akira's body after he transcended into a being of pure energy during that nuclear holocaust he created.
It looked like a little like microchip at the end when they busted it out because it was like in a nice little square and they just throw it on the ground and it was like poof, Akira.
It's like a bisection of his spinal column and his nervous system put in glass, and then it's like this goes here and this is what this is. If you've ever taken a class in biology, you would know what any of that shit is. It's okay, I get it.
And it wasn't they say like they called to him. So like Phil just said, when the first time it happened, Akira he transcended, like he was gone into pure energy. So all those little kids have connection to Akira, and that energy called to him to bring him back to take away what was happening.
Yeah, they basically bring him back to life for a quick moment to get rid of Tetsuo. They're like, dude, this guy's out of control. Like there's like the biggest, like most memorable scene. Even South Park even riffed on it when like Tetsuo's power is beyond his own body and he starts becoming like a gigantic amoeba monster.
Yeah.
And just absorbing everything in sight.
That's why they lost
pain
me.
is inside me.
Like I was kind of okay where he just like randomly used some like metal laying on the ground to then become like some cyborg arm. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Yeah, but then when he just started blowing up and becoming some big giant like fat giant Sally Struthers blob, I was like, what the fuck?
His protons were essentially collapsing on themselves.
Trappekeeper 5000. Yeah, so the basic premise is Tetsuo got too big for his fucking britches. The old kids kill themselves to bring Akira back, who nukes in Tokyo again and takes Tetsuo with him.
And then makes a little bitty.
So the ending of this movie is very debated, a lot like 2001: A Space Odyssey. A lot of people are like, did Akira just blow shit up? Did like who actually survived? Like what happened? The accepted concept is that Tetsuo and Akira used their ability to create a pocket universe, and they went there and they left. They left our reality by using their power to become gods and creating a whole new universe. And that backlash is what blew up fucking Tokyo again. But yes, Akira is one of those like mindfuck anime, sci-fi, superpower movies that like people have been debating for the better part of 30 years.
And then you have the little snowflake universe that falls down at the end.
Yeah,
that's what's left of Tetsuo and his energy.
And then he just crushes it.
Tetsuo,
I crush you.
I curse you.
So how did you feel about so plot wise? Yeah, who the fuck knows? Good luck understanding your first watch. It probably takes a couple viewings to really like grasp all the scientific and metaphysical nonsense taking place in this film. But like, what were some pros and cons you felt about this film?
I wouldn't say I loved it. I didn't really care much for it either. I like Tetsuo. I like his relationship with
So you
Kaneda.
like the kid who threw a temper tantrum and killed people, but you don't like the rest of the movie?
Yeah, pretty much. Because a lot of it I just didn't understand. Like, I didn't understand
you can say it, you didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I don't understand a lot of what's going on. I don't get the big, giant, like, government building that they're breaking into where the guys are driving around on hover bikes and...
Just a government facility.
Kaneda's going in there. And
what's not to understand? You've seen these concepts and things
that's
and
like
tropes
every
in all
sci-fi. Like they have to break
films.
in, go in, and destroy it from the inside out. Like what's
I can't tell if you're like intentionally being obtuse because it's anime.
The old dude with the slicked back hair with the mouse teeth,
Ryu.
And he was he was the
talking
old
about
guy.
the leader of the
Resistance.
he was one of the counselor of the Supreme Council,
And he was like trying to run away with like a briefcase of looked like his like
money
and
he was the one feeding information
degrees.
about the psychic conspiracy to the rebels who were trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah,
that was the whole point of him. He was like feeding information to Kei and Ryu and the other like rebels who like Kaneda joined up with,
so they could prove that they were still doing it. So that then they would get rid of the government. And
if the people found out the government was still experimenting on people and there were psychic weapons out there, they would be overthrown immediately.
Right.
That's the point. That was that whole plot line. You're telling me you were sober and watching this film? Was it because you had to read? Was that?
So did you stop reading?
Like, wait, what's going on?
Did you just hear?
You're
the
just sitting there
Japanese?
listening to gibberish. And you're like, this movie makes no sense.
I don't understand
Like,
Japanese.
No,
They're literally telling you what's happening, Andy.
I did not get who he was. At first, I was like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Because he was being...
Well...
He was in the alleyway and he was fighting with somebody who was part of the resistance. I think it was Ryu. And then he shoots Ryu. That's when I was like, wait, who?
He betrayed him. He threw them under the bus and he didn't help them when they asked for him to send reinforcements. And he took all of the fucking tax money he had in his safe and he was trying to make a break for it and escape Tokyo. And Ryu caught him and he was like, fuck you, traitor. Bang. Really, dude? Like, this stuff makes sense if you actually pay attention to the film. I feel like you're hating on it because you were like, what's nah.
I think the problem is too, I think for a lot of Japanese like manga and stuff, it really focuses like really heavily on the younger people in the movie. And like you're used to seeing movies that focus on like the elder aspect. That's more of a backstory is what's really going on. The main focus is like the teenage problem here, not like
the socio-political aspect of the story is really just backdrop, like Sweeney said. And you got to understand the movie. It glosses the reason I really wanted you to watch this is because they're making a live action American Akira, like this is happening, but they're supposed to be a trilogy, and they're going to be actually focusing on a lot of the stuff that happened in the comics that the movie doesn't really go into, like the first destruction. What the movie really ends at the first or second volume of the manga, like Tetsuo comes back with Akira, and they like rule the remains of Neo Tokyo with like a psychic fist.
Wasn't that funny though? Because like they're gods, but we're only gonna rule Tokyo.
The world's fine. He got his little section of the planet that he wanted. He became a big man, and that's all Tetsuo needed. And like Kaneda's like joining up with the resistance to like kill Tetsuo and like just fuck his world up. Like, come on, dude. Orbital laser. The orbital laser fight is amazing.
Yeah, the SOL, Soul.
Yeah.
Soul,
the shit out of luck. You're shit out of luck. We're going to blow you up.
You are shit out of luck, Tetsuo. Bye-bye.
But then Tetsuo flew up into space somehow. Well,
no, he flew before that as well.
No, like into space. The vacuum of space.
Yeah, he's God.
Psychic powers.
Destroys the orbital laser beam, the pew-pews.
Rains it down on the fucking planet.
Brings it down, and then comes back down to continue destruction.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was sweet.
It's badass.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
that one.
I thought you were questioning this. I was like, what's wrong
with
that?
I'm asking you, like, what were things you did like about it? I know there's like two, but like I'd like to hear about both of them.
No, I did. I liked that. I liked just a lot of the aspects of his relationship with Kaneda and with his friends, to where he did. He even said, he was like, I'm going to kill you because you always came around, you bossed me around, you treated me like crap. Like, fuck you, I'm the powerful one now.
Yeah, because he was like, you always have to come and save me, stop saving me. And now he doesn't have to be saved anymore.
Oh, you're a big man now. You're just king of it's all garbage.
Right, because he was like, you're king of this pile of crap right now.
Although, good for you, you big crybaby.
And maybe I did miss this, but I don't understand how all this, like, he was able to stop multiple, like, military people shooting laser beams at him. He was able to stop bullets, tank ballistics. But Kaneda had one laser gun that actually did damage to Tetsuo.
Well, it's all about, like, getting his focus. Like, he was able to, like, distract Tetsuo enough. Because psychic powers are only as good as whether or not you're paying attention. That's how they work.
Yeah, so he would like yell at him. That's why he was like yelling at him all the time, just like to get his attention. And the first time he fired, he was down by his hip. He didn't even bring the gun up. He like just fired it from his hip, and that's why it hit him, because he wasn't expecting it.
He was like,
he just completely fucked with him and caught him off guard. And then like the giant laser from space he had to deal with, while Kay is like being like a medium for like the kids to focus their psychic powers and have psychic power. No, psychic power. Like, this movie spawned films like Chronicle, which I know you liked. Chronicle.
I did like Chronicle.
Yeah, and Blade Runner was a huge influence on it. Like, that's obviously, when you look at Neo Tokyo, it's pretty even the biker gang.
He was,
like, from a sci-fi aspect, Akira has touched a lot of lives, and I think that one of the best things about it is like the animation and the psychic battles, but the plot can be convoluted. I
actually like the character, the Colonel. He was a part of this council that was running Neo Tokyo, and then he's just like, you guys are corrupt, you don't know what's going on. They're like, hey, you need to check yourself, and he's like, fuck that, I'm out of here. He leaves. Then they show up to arrest him and tell him that he's out, and he looks at his own guys, he's like, shoot him. They just shoot each other, two of the military.
It's a coup.
he declares martial law.
Yeah, he's like, nah.
I mean, he was probably in the right, because from the beginning he was like, I don't like this fucking psychic nonsense. You're gonna get us all killed again, like with the first Akira incident. So he saw the writing on the wall, and he saw the Tetsuo bull. He was like, when he comes in at the end and he sees like the psychic pattern, that's the way it's grown for Tetsuo, and he's like, what the fuck have you been doing? Are you serious? You're letting this happen? Like, what's going on? He's like, fuck all of you.
Right.
You're all under my boot heel now. I'm going to kill Tetsuo myself. He doesn't.
I liked,
he comes close, though.
When you first kind of get introduced to the well, not the first introduction. Their abilities when you finally see the old shriveled up babies are taking the toys and the stuffed animals and making big giant like nightmarish versions of them and attacking Tetsuo in his room. I was like, that's pretty cool. I'd like to do that. You
see like the girl has like better abilities like with clairvoyancy and like seeing the future, and like Takashi and the Masaru, the one in the wheelchair, the floating wheelchair, like they were better at like physical things like shields and making like constructs out of like what's laying around. But yeah, like their psychic abilities they vary to some degrees.
Now
Akira was just God, like I could do whatever I want.
Kay
Nukes
is her name.
Yes, the one girl, yes, Kay.
In the Olympic Stadium where the battle's going down at the end and he brings Akira up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She is there, but she's kind of was that the little wrinkled babies like using her as like a conduit pretty much like inside of her? Because I was like, how does she have powers?
She doesn't. But they when they met her, they found that she had she was a medium, which means she has no psychic powers of herself, but they have the ability to focus their powers through her. So they were able to like join forces through her, like so 3v1 basically.
Yeah.
So they could like triple team against Tetsuo. Like that's the only way they could stand a chance.
It was
against
like
him.
a USB hub, 3 into 1.
Exactly. They just plug into her, and then now she can fly and shit.
Yeah.
They go like once again. These things are kind of glossed over in the movie, but it's explained in detail in the manga. But yeah, from Akira, it's. I understand why you didn't like it because it required like sifting through a lot of convoluted socio-political plot to get to the meat and bones of like.
There was a lot of downtime between some of the action, and I was just like, oh, let me just see him blow shit up.
Oh, you simple motherfucker. I swear to God. All right. Well, you've broken my heart again for anime.
Do we have to rate Akira on the weeaboo scale?
No, Akira does not even enter into the weeaboo scale.
There's
one.
There's one pretty weeaboo when the clown. So Tetsuo breaks out the first time.
I know what you're going to bring up. You're going to bring up Kaori getting punched in the face and her shirt getting ripped off in the street.
That's just like a beat up. It's not like they don't make it like a weird thing.
That doesn't matter what fucking country you're in, dude. Biker gangs are assholes and misogynists.
Ripping her shirt off.
They didn't make
teenage boobies.
They didn't make her boobs like gigantic or like.
No,
it was just like
it wasn't anything perverted or anything like that. They were going to set fire to his motorcycle and beat the shit out of him and his woman.
But she got
it's biker gang violence. If you watch Sons of Anarchy, you've seen this shit.
Yeah.
And then after they finally get all calmed down and Tetsuo is ready, she's like, "Oh, Tetsuo," and he's like, "Shut up, get out of here."
Well, if you saw that's how they all treated the girls that were hanging around them. Like after school, they'd like walk with them and like stop flirting with me.
They're biker dicks. They're not like gentlemen and classy fucks. I don't know how else to explain this to you.
They're not good
like
people.
You want that it doesn't enter into a weeaboo scale. This is a if you like sci-fi, you can get into Akira. There's nothing about it that's cringeworthy. It's not cringy. It's not cringy at all. So it's a 0 on the weeaboo scale. Fuck you, Andy, for even trying to bring up my weeaboo scale for this film. I decide what's weeaboo. I am the gatekeeper. You are the keymaster.
I am the click commander. Wait.
All right, so well, let's just jump into the other one that you actually did watch, and we will talk about Record of Lodoss War. And this is one that I really had high hopes for you because this is high fantasy. It gets its origins come from Tolkien and D&D. The actual creator of Record of Lodoss War got the idea for this show from his own D&D campaign. These are his characters that him and his friends played. It's got dragons and magical swords and armor and avenging your father and demon swords and fucking goblins and kobolds and giants and shit. What are you doing?
Two episodes.
You watched
2 episodes.
I know you only watched 2 fucking episodes.
And I was done.
What's funny is all the things you just said is the reason he told me he did not like it because it was too much like Lord of the Rings.
It's not that I don't want to say I disliked it. Had I seen this back in like the early mid 90s, I probably would have loved it. Watching it now, it was very hard for me to disconnect it from Lord of the Rings. Episode 1 is the fucking mines of Moria. They are literally running through a mine of a dwarven kingdom through a mountain, and then instead of fighting a Balrog, they fight a dragon at the end.
Yeah.
Episode 2, what I got from it kind of now flashes back, is the fucking gathering of the Fellowship. I was like, I literally could not disconnect my mind
you
from
love Lord of the Rings.
I do.
You do. You are a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan.
I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go watch Lord of the Rings. It's in English.
Oh,
No, it's not. It's Elvish and Orcish.
You know what I mean.
So you're telling me that the reasons you love Lord of the Rings
That's why he hates
are why you
Lodos
didn't like
War.
Record of Lodos War. I'm going to call it bullshit.
The
And here's why. Let me explain
dwarf's
why I'm
name
calling it
is
bullshit.
Gim.
Yes.
Mine is the lead.
Lee.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn.
Yeah. What's your point?
Wait, is it? Never mind.
GHIM.
No, it's actually just GIM.
Okay.
No, it might be GHIM.
No, it's GH. I watched it.
All right.
I watched it subtitled. GH.
Okay. So this is why I kind of wanted you to actually watch all of it, because this is not like a 25 episode series. It's an OVA of like 7 or 8 episodes. It's really short. It's and they're all only half an hour long. So you only got 2 episodes. You lazy
2
fuck. Are you
episodes.
serious? Jesus Christ, Andy! You didn't even get to the part where Ashram, like the fucking Black Knight, shows up with the fucking demon sword and like murders an entire like city. And the fucking fight when the armies, like between like the guy with the holy sword and the guy with the demon sword, Fawn and Beld. Like they talk about how they're like the old heroes. There was like a generation of like 6 heroes who stopped like a fucking cataclysmic event. And this is the story about like a new generation of heroes coming together to stop another cataclysmic event. And there's no rings, there's no dark.
So they stopped Sauron the first time, and now
Shut the
new
fuck up, Andy.
Fellowship.
Just shut the fuck up, all right? You only watch 2 fucking episodes, you lazy bastard. I'm not going to let you sit here and act like you know what you're talking about.
You watch it.
I refuse.
I'm going to.
All right.
It's actually pretty. However, I will
finish it.
say this: the dubbing is better than the subbing. It's rare. It's very rare that a dub is better than a subtitled in original English. The dubbing is excellent, and it's easier to watch. The characters sound really good. The voice acting's fantastic. But Crunchyroll only has a subtitled version, so I'm sorry, that's all I could provide for you for the 2 episodes you put in.
I prefer subtitled. I mean, I like the original language with subtitles.
I do too, but I actually watched Record of Lodos for the first time dubbed.
Yeah,
and I've watched it subtitled as well. It is better dubbed.
I think
it just is.
I think part of that's because I like to guess where they're at in the English part of like their language. So I'm trying to like fit in the words as they're saying it. Like, ooh, it's a name. That name goes there.
Like eventually they have to go destroy a gigantic fire dragon, a fire dragon mountain called Shooting Star, who may or may not be related to Smog. We're not going to go there. And then there's like
it was
later,
like not like Oakenshield, Smog.
there's only one fucking dwarf, so let's not even go there. And there are like there's battles between dragons at some point, and like the music's actually pretty good too at certain parts. But for a Japanese animation, it's how it portrays what is very much a Western trope of like high fantasy. I think it does a very good job. This is not something that's like normally in their wheelhouse. Fantasy anime does not succeed typically in Japanese culture. It's just something that's kind of like foreign to them. The idea of like knights and samurai and ninja obviously like kick ass there. So when you try to like put somebody in a suit of armor or like a broadsword and a shield,
They're like, what?
they just go shrug. The same way you go, why am I watching this? It's not in English.
Like I said, had I seen it before I saw Lord of the Rings, I probably would have liked it. The animation was really cool. The whole intro where they showed the God of Light and the God of Dark, and they were having like that epic war. They were the last of the gods to be there. Like seeing their dragons battling and like kind of like the still art image of that.
Yeah, the mural.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then it just went right into Mines of Moria.
Which is why I kind of want you to watch the rest of it, because that shit becomes like actual happenings in the last 3 episodes. Like shit hits the fan. Like the evil god Cardis tries to like resurrect through that Vagnard, the red wizard who's with Beld and Ashram from Marmo, and they try to like they kidnap Deedlit, the elf, to like steal her soul to use to resurrect an evil god.
So you can if this is a story about the real person's D&D campaign, you can definitely tell the names of the characters. We're very like on the spot, like, which is fine.
You can look at this and obviously see that there was a lot of like homages. Because let's be honest, anyone who's ever played a fucking D&D game, you pull things from stuff you already know because that's fun for you. I've made like 5 different barbarian class berserker characters that have gigantic ass broadswords that are like, and they all have giant grips. So obviously I'm trying to be Guts from Berserk. But we're not gonna. So fuck off. So don't you even sit there. You come down off your goddamn high horse and you try to enjoy something.
And I told you that. I said
bastard.
I could tell it was taken everything from Tolkien. And you said it's a lot of D&D, which I said was also taken from Tolkien, which is not a bad thing. Had I seen this before I saw Lord of the Rings, it was just me watching. I will give it another chance, but me watching it, I
understand that
just was
mentality,
having
and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying that your opinion is wrong. I understand what you're saying. You were exposed to Tolkien first. I mean, that makes sense to me. But why does that prevent you from liking something that's similar to it in the same vein? It's the same genre.
I'm telling you, I just had a hard time watching it and not sitting there with scene by scene and comparing it instead of
that can be fun too.
Instead of just appreciating it for what it was.
See, I don't do that. Like if I'm watching separate things, like I know what Lord of the Rings is, right? So that's over here. You know, that's always over here. Now, if you bring me any other high fantasy, I'm not going to immediately relate it to that because it's its own thing.
I agree. Like, I don't watch like fucking Dragon Slayer or Krull and go, man, there's some shit like Lord of the Rings in this. Fuck it. Why am I bothering? Fuck this. Like, no, I just sit there and I kind of try to enjoy it for what, you know, what it is. Sorry, I got so mad I knocked over my camera because...
For those of you who can't see what's going on, Phil's camera just flipped all around and did some weird, funny shit.
All right.
Well, I smacked it because I was mad at it for being like other cameras.
I will come back to Lodos War and we'll talk about it. So,
okay.
Fill me in on Ninja Scroll.
Ninja Scroll.
So, Ninja Scroll, in the same vein as Akira, is like a late 80s, early 90s. And this was like one of the very first like animated films to like make its way across the pond to us, so to speak. And the premise is like Jubei Kibagami is like a legendary samurai, ninja, if you will. The line between samurai and ninja is very blurred in this. But the premise is that he's just a wandering ninja, and he just gets fucking like wrapped up in these like ridiculous supernatural shit that starts taking place. And this band of like evil, fucked up, immortal ninja who all have these ridiculous like array of abilities just start trying to like they're trying to overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate, which is basically the government at the time. Right. And this is like feudal Japan, but it's not like real feudal Japan. It's very it's fantasy-esque. So I mean, you got like a snake woman who can like kill you by like controlling snakes. You got like another guy who's got like a beehive in his back and he looks like a little fucking like troll asshole and he attacks you with bees and shit. You got one person who like summons dead bodies that she uses as like bombs. And he's like a fucking like just a badass sword master and he just cuts through these assholes. There's one dude who can turn his skin into rock and he's got this gigantic like spiky boomerang thing that he throws and like he's trying to like, I don't know, hook up with chicks against their will or whatnot. He's kind of got some consent issues, if you will. But Jubei immediately is like, oh, you can't be made of rock everywhere, and he like attacks him through the eyes and shit, and like blinds him.
Oh, jeez.
And it's violent. It's very ultra violent. It's very adult oriented. It's very like. It's animated incredibly well. Like the fighting is really cool to watch. Like the way the sword fights take place and. Just the way like Jubei just cuts through these assholes, and of course their leader is like completely unkillable and shit. He's literally immortal, and so he has to find a way to try to kill him too.
So it's just like Ninja Gaiden, but
kind of. But Ninja Gaiden's also in modern times. Yeah. This is the Ninja Scroll is very difficult to describe, but very very fun to watch.
Okay,
you don't have to be sober for this one.
I was going to say, what time period is this?
Time period, probably feudal Japan.
Okay.
Like ancient
Do you know
Japan.
what that is?
Yeah, I do.
Carts and horses.
You know what fugal?
Frugal.
Feudal.
Frugal Japan.
Frugal Japan.
Jesus Christ. It's actually an American word, you sons of
The
bitches.
frugal chef.
It's a feudality. Anyway, oh my God. I can't believe I'm trying to take you bashes back to school. This is an anime I do not require you to be sober for, because this is very much like a visual fun fest. It's the plot. It's all you need to know is that Jubei is getting like revenge on these assholes, and he falls in love with like some female ninja who can't have any kind of relations because her ninja power is that anyone who kisses or touches her is poisoned to death.
Oh, that's fun.
And she has no control over it.
It's like poison ivy.
So, yeah, I don't even know how else to really describe this. Gold's involved. I don't give a fuck. I go for the ninja slashing, sword swinging, cool ninja powers. Like Naruto definitely
It's
got
like-
some of its ideas from this.
It's like Samurai Jack, but with more story.
Yeah, I'd probably say it's got Samurai Jack definitely owes some of its roots to this. I think a lot of modern supernatural ninja retellings definitely owe their existence to Ninja Scroll. Like this is one of the starting points.
Nice.
But like I said, this is a visual roller coaster. You need to watch this simply for just the experience of what it looks like.
for
And
the
you
oral
can watch
pleasure.
this one dubbed as well. It's on Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu dubbed.
All right.
Same with Akira. If you ever want to rewatch Akira and actually get it right, you can watch it dubbed on Hulu.
Hulu. Thank you, Hulu, for providing us with.
But if you want to watch Record of Lodoss War, it is only on Crunchyroll currently, and that is subtitled. Now it's still good subtitled. If you can get your hands on a dubbed version of Record of Lodoss War, I highly recommend it.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, so that's a maybe. Thanks, Andy, for your fucking maybe. Can I ask
After all of that, I'll give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot.
I'd like there to be one anime for Andy's episode where you actually watch everything I tell you to watch.
Now, it's been quite a while now. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I was on my way to Atlanta and I was watching Hellsing, the anime Hellsing. I actually was really enjoying that one. So I kind of want to go back and watch that. So I was going to say for our next one, I was thinking a little vampire theme with Vampire Hunter D,
Oh,
Hellsing, and then do you have another? Those are the only two that I really know. I don't know if there's another.
for anime?
Yeah,
A vampire anime?
vampire, or even
So this is where we got to tread
Monsterish.
lightly,
Yes,
gentlemen,
'cause you
because
can
some of
get
the
into-
anime
Can we
involving
get a
vampires.
very weeaboo?
This niche can get very weeaboo very fast.
Very look, for example, and I do not recommend you watch this, but Dance in the Vampire Bund, B-U-N-D. I don't know what the fuck a bund is,
Bund.
Don't
but I'll
dance
tell you
there.
that shit is hardcore weebs. That's at least a 4 out of 5 on the weeb scale.
So now he's going to watch that.
No, please don't, Andy. Don't do that. But yes, no, Vampire Hunter D, in the same vein as Akira and Ninja Scroll, is one of the earliest examples of an anime crossing the pond. And Vampire Hunter D is horror anime, which has a huge following. Castlevania on Netflix.
Right, it's like Castlevania.
That's technically a vampire anime, and it's new.
There, I'll watch that one. I'll watch Castlevania,
did they make
Hellsing.
Sorry, did they ever make a Devil May Cry anime?
They did.
Huh.
I don't know if I would recommend it, though. I don't
end
I
of
don't
that
fuck with
story.
shit based off of video games.
Right.
Sorry. We've talked about that in our top 5. I don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
So you watched a little bit of Hellsing. That's actually I would consider Hellsing probably the height of supernatural anime shows.
I was really
I
liking
think-
what I saw. It was very the animation style was superb, and if I'm recalling right, they were using hypnosis type mind control with his eye contact with her, and it was very
Definitely.
you were saying that graphic of gore and the violence in it.
Hellsing is hyper violent and it actually has a really great story, Alucard and the whole Hellsing organization, but hunting the undead. It's actually a really great show. And if you wanted, you could watch Hellsing Abridged online, which is actually pretty funny. But I would probably watch actual Hellsing if you're actually interested in vampire anime. There's a lot of stuff out there. But as Sweeney and I were saying,
be careful.
This is check out Castlevania on Netflix. Maybe recheck out Vampire Hunter D dubbed or subbed. Either is great. Maybe watch a little bit more Hellsing if you want to give that a shot. Come back, let me know what you thought. And while you do that, I'll see if I can actually find something I can recommend to you without putting you on somebody's fucking list.
Because you will be on a list.
Yeah, you will probably end up on a list with some of this shit.
Good.
Blood, the Last Vampire. That's actually pretty decent. It was a 2000. It was year 2000 is when it came out, but it's like a movie about a young woman who's like pretending to be in a high school, but she's actually like an ancient vampire, and she's there hunting vampires and kills a whole bunch of motherfuckers that are like. It takes place on an American base in Japan, which is kind of an interesting concept, but it got turned into like a TV series. But it all got spawned off of this movie and the manga that's related to it. But you might want to check out Blood, the Last Vampire, or Blood Plus, I believe it is called. It's actual plus symbol, Andy, if you're curious. But one vampire show I definitely suggest never touching is fucking Twilight. May that burn in hell.
Yeah, don't touch that.
I'll never watch that.
Don't ever do that.
Don't do that.
I've never seen it.
No, it's garbage.
It's not anime either.
They're not vampires. You don't glitter in the sunlight.
No, sir. You kill things. 30 Days of Night, I attest, is still the most accurate vampire film of all time.
I would agree with that.
Love it.
Interview with a Vampire gets a close second.
We'll have to come back to this theme in October.
Okay. We're not going to do an Anime for Andy's Part 4 in October.
No. I'm saying like
the
vampire theme in general. We'll cover our horror. And
we'll do a Halloween
films.
episode. That'll be fun for our listeners. And if anyone has any suggestions that they want us to talk about for future upcoming holiday episodes, please post on our social media. We'd love that.
And he is very right. Any kind of horror anime can go weeb really fast.
Really fast. However, if it doesn't, and if it withstands the urge to weeb out,
it
actually sticks to those horror roots the way Hellsing and Vampire Hunter D did, then
they're very good.
Anime horror can be very badass. Like you can see some very cool shit. But like I said, like I told you the very first episode, you gotta sometimes weed through a couple fives to get to one of those zeros.
If you start it and you start seeing some tentacles going weird, just turn it off.
Run away. If you hear anyone go, dame, kudasai, just turn it off.
Turn it off. Just stop.
Homeland Security will be through your window quite quickly, I promise you.
Go on.
I once again, as always with our Anime for Andy's episodes, I appreciate you trying to go outside of your box, Andy. I know it's not easy sometimes. But I do believe we are supposed to have who was supposed to do Hateful Grateful this week?
Hateful Grateful was mine, but I didn't really have a Hateful Grateful. I just realized, we are geeks, and one of the meccas of all geek culture just happened last week, which was Comic-Con. So I kind of just wanted to throw out a couple quick things, and we'll discuss it, and we'll call it.
Cool. We'll call it Hateful Grateful Comic-Con edition.
Comic-Con. So Hall H is the big hall where all the big wigs show up and just blow their load so everyone can see, like,
it's movie trailer hall.
5. Yeah. Hall H had no Marvel presence, no HBO presence, no Disney presence. It was all up to DC this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Go on.
None. So I was a little hateful with that. Like, you're telling me that you have nothing Infinity War Part 2 or Captain Marvel?
No, because they have D23. So they're going to wait and do all their stuff for their own event.
I would still say Comic-Con is way bigger than D23.
I would say so too, but that's what they're going to do. Disney thinks they run the fucking world now.
And HBO.
I mean, they do.
No HBO presence
well,
there.
I mean, what's HBO going to show? Westworld?
How about Game of Thrones? That is next year.
Nobody cares about that.
This year's San Diego Comic-Con caught a lot of people with their pants down, and Andy's right. There was not a huge showing at Hall H. DC carried it.
I did.
You got Shazam. You got fucking Aquaman.
Yeah.
You got the Joker movie announcement.
We got the Aquaman trailer,
Uh-huh.
which I really liked. A lot of gripe about how the special effects don't look completely done yet. I didn't see anything that looked too bad.
What didn't look done?
The sharks looked fine to me, bro.
The sharks look
and even
good.
they had the awesome like effect where he's underwater, but he's still talking and like his hair's waving. Like that looked really good.
I thought it looked good.
I actually am excited for fucking Aquaman. Grateful.
Yes.
Grateful.
Like, who thought, even just like 5 years ago, if somebody was like, we're making an Aquaman movie?
I think we
I would have
all
laughed in your face.
I think we all said when they got Jason Momoa to do it, we were like, okay. It's going to be good.
Dude, Khal Drogo can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Black Manta looked spot on.
Yes.
Black Manta looked badass. They even got the laser beam right.
And it was, so is it, it's obviously Aquaman, but what's his
King Orm.
Yeah.
His
stepbrother?
brother.
Yeah.
It's half brother.
Okay.
It's his half brother.
Yeah.
They share a mother.
Brother.
So he wants to wage war on the land.
Yeah.
The living of the land.
It's the fucking plot of the DC animated movie Throne of Atlantis.
It is.
It is. And if you haven't seen that, check it out. It might spoil Aquaman the movie for you, but it's worth it. It's pretty much the only good Aquaman story.
I mean, we get the funny of Jason Momoa jumping on the ship and saying permission to come on board, which is, a funny joke if you're whatever.
It wasn't that funny.
I mean, it's funny to me. Shut up. My funny. And then we actually see him control animals, like
as a
aquatic
child.
Animals as a child. And then also
the aquarium scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
This has always been the problem with fucking Aquaman, though. Like, he does in the past and cartoons and shit, they always make him control like guppies and dolphins and seashells by the seashore. Like, nobody gave a shit about and he's wearing like green little pantaloons and
little green shellies.
Like, they were like, Aquaman was dumb back in then. When they realized, like, oh my god, Shark Week is popular. Let's make Aquaman talk.
Which is going on right now, by the way. Shark Week.
It is the 30th week of Shark Week. Congratulations, everyone!
Want to see?
And the Meg comes out next. I was going to say,
I want to see Aquaman bring up a megalodon.
You might get to see that.
Well, obviously he controls the shark in the aquarium.
Yeah,
and then who knows what else he's going to do?
Well, it looked like the trench is involved in this also.
Yeah,
and it looked like they were mounted on great white sharks.
I'm very excited for an Aquaman film. Obviously, this takes place before the events of Justice League.
Does it?
I feel like it.
It looks like it does.
So I couldn't tell because it was like, yes, we had the flashback of him as a child, but then we also had the relationship that he was having. So I might be right because he did leave for a while in Justice League. He had to come back. So
yeah,
maybe
because I feel like in the events of Justice League, Mira obviously knows him.
Right.
They had a conversation. I feel like, and he's obviously going to meet her for the first time in this film. So
you're probably right.
I'm feeling like this is maybe him reflecting on how he became Aquaman.
It's the origin story. We're getting his origin, and then fast forward to him taking the throne.
Wait, his origin story? He was born.
The end.
He is half Atlantean, half land
that's
lover.
The origin. He was born. Like, there's no like.
My mom was a queen.
Right.
My dad was a lighthouse keeper.
Origin told.
Origin done. I was born.
And I like that they did not show the actual king of Atlantis being played by Dolph Lundgren.
I'm glad they don't. I don't want that spoiled. Yeah. I want to see that when I see the movie. Okay, have you guys ever seen Moana?
Yeah.
I know it's a Disney film.
I actually really enjoy that movie.
Moana's pretty good. I like it. It's got good music. Yeah. But Maui played by The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it just me, or does Jason Momoa's Aquaman look like Maui hit the gym for a while? Am I wrong? Am I like
slender down a little bit?
Yep.
Not so broad.
What can I say except
you're
protein
welcome.
And lifting?
Oh, went there. Okay. Oh yeah,
so, carb free.
So the other trailer we got was Shazam.
Shazam,
which I liked. I liked the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't like Zachary Levi. I thought he is great for it.
Is it Levy or Levi?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Levy.
I'm gonna go with Levy also because it's not an I. It's Levy. Zach Levy.
Zachary. Thought he was doing great. The scene when he is in the backyard and he holds up the piece of paper that says "Don't scream," taken almost right from Justice League War, another animated film where
he's like trying to talk to his friend.
Yeah, talking to the other
me,
foster
Billy.
children in there. He's like, "Hey, it's me.
It's me,
in
Billy.
the backyard."
Yeah.
We had a discussion about how I absolutely despise the padded suit, and I completely get what you're saying. I get why they would do that, because it is Billy Bastion's idea of how a hero would look. I just don't like the look of a padded suit.
And to me, when I saw the trailer, I didn't even notice the padded suit.
How do you not?
I just don't. For me,
every single website that is talking about it right now.
You have your opinion, and I have mine.
And yours is wrong.
I mean, I'm going to say it's pretty obvious that it's like a weird padded suit.
But I think padded suit, I think of a baggy, like a suit that's so baggy, like you see like a bad Halloween costume. That's what I think of as a padded suit.
No.
But I know what you guys mean, but that's my perception of a padded suit. Like it's too big for them. It looks funky.
Like I thought
when they bend their arms, it doesn't like look right, stuff like that.
It looked good on like Batfleck's suit is heavily padded, but it still looked decent. This one you could see like it is like actually away, like you could see like down inside his suit at his neck, like the you could see rubber muscles.
Yeah. It wasn't my interpretation of a padded suit, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's fake.
I think you guys are saying the same thing, but you're using different terminology.
It's fake.
I get what you're. It looks
fake muscle
plastic. It looks not real.
Right. And I understand what you were saying. Like completely, I could buy that explanation. The execution to me is still.
But I like that they. So let me explain why Andy is paraphrasing something that we had a fairly heated debate on my birthday on Saturday. Andy's feeling that it looks fake. It looks completely out of place. It looks just not real, and it definitely doesn't look like Zach Levy. No part of that suit is actually Zach Levy, except for maybe the head.
Yeah.
But and I get that. But I think it's being done intentionally. I think that they are going for the idea of like a 12-year-old Billy Batson in this grimy, gritty DC universe that they created has this like ideal. Obviously, Billy Batson is a big Superman fan. If somebody gave me magical powers and said, "Who do you want to turn into?" It's like Superman, like immediately. But this is like his 12-year-old brain. Like this is what an adult would look like in this perfect, idealized, like giant action figure looking like Max Headroom, plastic shit is his projection of like who he would want to be as a perfect hero. So yeah. It looks fake as fuck, and it looks like he was like literally molded in plastic. He probably has no dick, like a Ken doll.
I also think,
but I get why you don't like it, but I think it's being done intentionally to say something about Billy's character.
And I feel like they're trying to make, and this is just my comparison of like Marvel and DC a little bit, but it's not even like close to the same superhero at all. So I'm not saying that comparison, but just like their style. This is like their Ant-Man. Like they're trying to make it funny and silly.
I definitely got the lightheartedness. Yeah, and I think DC needs this.
Yeah, this is their Ant-Man. They want like not everybody, like every good comic book fan knows Shazam, but not everybody knows Shazam.
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of people know the mythos behind Shazam either.
Right, exactly. They
or that he used to be called Captain Marvel.
They heard the name and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've heard that before. Wasn't that Shaq?"
Now let's talk about.
I know that
Shazam. Let's talk about one that we could all agree that we are just going to shit all over.
What are we shitting on?
This is their live action straight to DC's streaming service, Titans. This looked like an utter shit fest.
I've never fucking like I'm okay. I'm a DC fanboy. Self-admitted. I love DC. I'm wearing a fucking Superman shirt for those of you just listening and not watching the video. I obviously, I defended Man of Steel. I defended parts of Dawn of Justice. I think Justice League is a good movie. I don't do this because I'm full of shit. I actually was able to formulate an argument for these films. There is no defense.
None.
For the Titans show.
None.
It is fucking hot garbage in a dumpster fire.
The superficial side of it looks wrong. The
looks
actual
terrible.
source material of it they didn't get a single character right.
You got Dick Grayson
Not
Robin
one.
saying fuck Batman.
No, that would never happen.
Dick Grayson loves Bruce. That's his dad.
If that was Jason Todd, I would have been like, yep,
that makes
nailed
sense.
it.
That would make
But this
sense.
is
Jason
Nightwing.
Todd totally
Yeah,
says fuck.
even when
he
Dick
totally says
Grayson
fuck Batman.
becomes Nightwing, like in that process, he does have a little bit of a
He has
contentious
angst a little bit.
relationship with Batman, kind of like that, hey,
I'm good
I
enough
can do
now.
this, I can do this. At no point in time would he ever say fuck Batman.
No. He was
not
he was
once.
his role model. He was like his ideology of what I want to be.
Look at Starfire, dude. What the fuck?
my God.
Is she a hooker?
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, you can't hate on her just because they cast a black woman. I have
That's not
zero
why I'm
problem
mad.
with that at all. Gamora, amazing. This is
Make it look like the character. Give her like
orange.
She's an
give her
alien for
orange
Christ's
tint
sake.
skin. Give her something that doesn't look like a hooker wig.
The costume looks stupid.
The
It looks like she's
costume's
wearing
awful.
like purple Prince pleather miniskirt. It's weird. It's just
At no
it's
point was
not
there
Starfire.
any green aura, green effects to her abilities. We didn't see Beast Boy change at all.
not once.
I get why you don't have Cyborg in this. He's in the
He's
Justice
a
League.
He's already grown
So
up.
you bring Hawk and Dove in, who aren't your more bang bang fight 'em up like brutality, hacking people's legs off with his wings.
That's weird, man. Like Titans are not an ultra violent group.
No.
Like they were kids, man. They were training to be like future leaguers. That's the whole reason Batman made Teen Titans. He was like, you all need to like know what it's like to work with a team. So go off and join the fucking nerdy Boy Scout superhero shit.
And
Like,
Raven.
that was the Raven.
Oh.
Holy fuck, man. Raven is probably one of my favorite of the Teen Titans
Yes.
because it's demons.
Right.
It's magic. She's like a hardcore goth. Okay. All right. This is something we need to get definitions. We need to explain this to our listeners. There are emos and there are goths.
She should be goth.
Emos hate themselves. Emos cut themselves. They whine about how terrible they are, and they listen to really sad pap fucking emo music. Emos are inwardly hateful. Goths think the world is fucked
They
up.
hate
and
everybody else.
They hate everybody else, and they smoke cigarettes, and they think that you're a fucking conformist piece of shit, and they're awesome. So emos and goths are polar fucking opposites. And in the comic book and in the cartoon, Raven is a goth.
Right.
Yes.
She's
Even
in
Teen
this
Titans
show-
Go
Teen Titans
has
Go,
Raven right.
she's a goth.
Teen Titans Go did Raven better than Titans.
I really enjoy Teen Titans Go.
I do too. It
Okay.
grew on me.
I like regular Teen Titans. I don't watch Teen Titans Go because I can't. But yes, in this show, it is obvious from minute one, Raven's an emo. She's like, I'm so emotional in my pain, and I've got demons in me, and help me. Oh, I'm terrible. Help me control it.
Like her father's Trigon.
Trigon. Yes, Trigon. Sure.
And she like accepts this, even though she hates his guts, and she was like, screw. But she accepts who she is. She accepts her powers. And then, like you said, she uses them to her benefit and to help her close knit friends. But fuck the rest of the world, like because it's a
she
piece of shit.
bottles up her emotions intentionally to control her powers.
and
so she's
this
very
one,
like
she's just like,
monotone.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Make it stop. I keep making cool shadows come out and steal candy bars. It's awful. Like, fuck off. Like, how are you going to take one of the most beloved DC properties and just get everything about
I'm
it
still
wrong?
mad they fucked up Dick Grayson.
All wrong.
Dude, I love Starfire. She's funny. She's like a super like interesting part of the Titans because she's like always happy-go-lucky.
Right.
And they made her this like, I don't even know.
Make her
like,
alien?
she doesn't look like an alien to me, and she's actually shooting flames, which is not what she does at all.
It's energy.
And she's wearing this like weird purple pleather, like it looks like a hooker outfit. I'm just
It
gonna
does.
say this. And the character, like she's got like orange skin and like this is not Starfire. I don't know
it's
what
not
they're doing with
Starfire,
this
It's
character.
not Raven. We don't even know
And-
Beast Boy yet because they showed absolutely nothing of him.
There's no reason to avoid an alien plot line for Starfire. Superman's an alien.
Right.
Yeah.
You've established
Aliens
that there's
exist.
aliens. You can do this. You can get away with it. It's nobody is going to be like, I don't understand. Where's she from? Tamaranian? Like, come on. Like, I don't understand why they intentionally dumb down and then ruin characters. Like, who are you sparking this show to? Do you think anybody who's not already a DC or Teen Titans fan is going to watch your fucking show?
No.
You need us to like your show to create word of mouth for people who don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
That's why we exist. We're nerds. We know that we already like what
and
you're
you
selling.
think they would have gotten the point with their WB shows? Like, you think they would have gotten that by now? Because not everybody cared about Green Arrow, not everybody cared about the Flash, but they made them watchable.
Flash is good.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. They made them watchable. They made the word of mouth.
I like Flash.
Do the same thing with Teen Titans. Like,
and
why was
Flash
it so
is good
hard?
because it is so close to the source material.
Like, Smallville was awful.
So
I'm
you're
sorry.
making
Smallville was bad.
You can't introduce fucking Doomsday before he's even Superman. What the hell were they thinking? Stop it.
Right. No, that was bad. But I mean, like, the past couple years, WB got it pretty good with their
Supergirl's okay, I hear.
Yeah, with their TV shows. So, like, just take that premise, Teen Titans.
Honestly, they need to stop. Okay, when it comes to television, just because you got Flash and maybe parts of Green Arrow, right? You need to stop. Like, you failed far more than you've succeeded, and DC has always done gangbusters when it comes to animation.
Yeah,
and this is one of the things they announced at San Diego Comic-Con that I'm actually really happy about, Andy.
What's that?
They're bringing back Young Justice.
They are, and the Clone Wars.
And that's great.
I'm happy with Clone Wars.
Maybe. Yes, they're bringing back Young Justice. It looks fucking incredible. I'm very excited about that.
But other than that,
skip Teen Titans and just watch Young Justice.
Other than that stuff, Comic-Con was, I think, kind of a little letdown this year.
The new Godzilla trailer, King of Monsters, was pretty epic.
It was freaking 11 from Stranger Things just sitting at a... That's the one that I saw. I missed. So maybe I haven't seen the
Hall H trailer.
I saw I must have just seen the teaser then, where she's sitting at like a ham radio.
Yeah, that's the teaser. The Hall H trailer, which viewed on like the big day, you got to see Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah, and lots of Godzilla. It looks epic. I'm pretty. Tetsuo, Mothra, Rodan. I'm very excited for the new Godzilla, even though the first one had him on for like 5 minutes of the entire movie.
Yeah, barely showed Godzilla, and then you kill off Bryan Cranston. It's just like, what the fuck? This is terrible.
Oh, but no, this looks like it'll be good.
Walter,
like the Monarch group. But yeah, no, I think I'm with you on that. Other than the awesome pop figs that got released, San Diego Comic-Con was kind of a letdown this year.
Yeah.
Feel bad for those of you stupid enough to travel to San Diego and spend all that money on your con. We, however, are going to the East Coast San Diego Comic-Con in a few weeks. I'm really excited to see you guys at Dragon Con.
Yes, we will be at Dragon Con in exactly 1 month.
1 month?
We will be down there. You're getting that rig for the cell phone?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, where's
going to get that rig?
Is this a sex toy? What is this?
The rig for the rig.
No. I will be purchasing a portable it's microphone and camera holding rig for a phone.
So we'll be down there interviewing, getting some cosplayers, talking, having a good time. So if you're going to be down there, look for 4 guys pretty drunk. 4 out of the 80,000.
You can have her autograph. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not mine. I don't want you stealing my identity. But yeah, if you're in costume, we'd love to talk to you. If you're not in costume and you just like the show, we'd love to talk to you as well. Yeah, anything goes, really. We don't have any limits. Fuck it. Let's get crazy. Let's get weird. No, fuck you guys.
Fire it up. Oh, wait.
Oh.
So Jason, speaking of Jason Momoa and Fire It Up, he's backed out of The Crow. So now The Crow is once again dead in the water.
Leave it dead.
It needs to stay dead.
Don't touch it.
It needs to.
Don't touch The Crow, dude. Anyway.
Don't touch Brandon Lee.
Is there any other news that we want to bring up this week?
No, I think that's it. Next week, I believe we're going to talk more funny books and actually...
you mean the comics?
And we're going to talk some comic books and talk about some of the recent storylines.
Metal.
We got some...
Metal's over. Metal's been done for a while, bro.
We got some books that have rolled over to number ones again.
Again, shocking.
We had
hasn't even been a fucking year.
Major death today.
Oh yeah, we did.
Major death. Today we're recording this, it's a Wednesday, and it's New Comic Book Day, and Marvel has a story called Infinity Wars Prime, and #1 came out, and somebody dies.
Somebody.
Major character. I'll tell you after we stop recording. We'll save it for next week.
Tell me. Oh, I can't wait. I really, I just want to say, I really hope it's Tony Stark. Again.
Oh, you jerk.
It's not.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm just kidding. I hope it's Bruce Banner again, because I've had enough of this Immortal Hulk bullshit.
It's not.
Zombie Hulk.
Zombie Hulk's back.
Ugh.
He'll be regular Hulk here pretty soon, which I'm so hoping for, because then that means
I got my
totally
Hulk shirt
horny
on.
Hulk will be gone.
Amadeus Joe.
Amadeus. Nobody watches your comic, Amadeus.
I got my Hulk shirt
Amadeus.
Nice. Got Spidey.
All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you very much for another successful Anime for Andy's Part 3. Tune in next time for when we talk about vampire anime and Anime for Andy's #4. Coming to you probably in September-ish, maybe October. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see if Andy can actually remember anything he talked about tonight, or anything, if he can watch it all.
What is
or
anime?
If I have to lend him out every single one of my streaming service passwords so he can actually watch any of these shows. You cheap fuck.
What is this anime you
What is
speak
this
of?
anime?
I watched your anime the other day, and I thought Mighty Mouse was excellent. You fuck.
I read your book,
right,
you beautiful bastard.
All right.
Thanks again for tuning in to the Hateful Geeks. I'm one of your many hosts, Phil.
This is Sweeney.
And I'm Andy.
And once again, we had no Tim. I just want to say, look how quickly and efficient our episode was. Anyway, have a great night.
Ba-dum-ba-ba-dum-bum.